So while I'm waiting to see who pops up with me, this wasn't planned. I just decided I was going to play today. And I've done some physical labor today and it was time for a break. Hi, Jody. So, what I'm going to do today is make some journaling cards. It's not anything I've ever done, but that doesn't mean somebody else hasn't already. I was inspired by a donation made by Susan C. Hi, Sherry. And what what my phone thought when I said Sherry, I said Siri. So anyway, what she sent us as a donation was these long bookmarky style things with it looked like a person or a body, and then it had journaling lines in it. And I thought, well, oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. Hi, T. Hi, Barbara. So anyway, I thought they were really cute. And I drooled over them and I spent hours looking for the stamps. And then I thought, well, let's just take it a different direction. So I did. And I'm going to show you some of the things I did. I'm going to show you my least favorite first. And I just think it's not proportional. But this is the stamp. And the rest of this I drew on, well, the feet are the bottom part of his stamp. This was okay, but I had to do a lot of masking. And I thought that was more work than I wanted to do. So then I did one with a head, and this is just a head. And then I drew the body and decorated it, put the arms on it, and hair. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not in love with it, but it's okay. But then I decided, so why does it have to be faces, right? And we all have stamps that we don't use. I mean, if you have stamps and you're using them all, I'm very proud of you. But I don't. I have more stamps than I need, and I've probably gotten rid of 3/4 of them, but that's okay. I've kept some that I like. So here's what I decided to do: make my own journaling cards. And I'm using permanent ink so that if I want to color with markers or watercolor, I can. I did a couple with the cupcake. And then I did this one and doodled a little extra around the top. I did this one. And it doesn't come out straight. I don't know why, but every time I stamp that one, it never comes out straight. And then I did the mushrooms. Now, the mushrooms I had to mask a little bit, but it wasn't difficult. So I thought I'd show you what I did and how I did it. And I pulled out all kinds of stamps. So I thought, this one's too big. These are just blank index cards, and these are postcards, watercolor postcards. I really like the feel of them on the watercolor paper. Because, if you wanted to, you could paint these and then watercolor the edges, and it'd be a completely different journaling card than anything you've already got or anything store-bought. But what if you wanted to just get funky? I know, me get funky. Who would have guessed, right? So let's see if I brought out a block that'll hold this. Yeah, if I go at an angle, it will. So I have this, and I was going to re-ink my black ink, but I didn't get around to it. So we're just going to do it regardless. So we're going to ink it up really, really good and hope it stays on the mount, but it's not doing that. So that's okay. It's all right. I usually use my stamp pad, and I usually don't lay it down upside down. I know I heard some of you going, ah! So let's see if this will go without falling off. So we're going to just stamp it up here at the top. Yes, and it fell off, but it was just 1/4 of an inch away. Give it a good press because my ink is kind of low. And it didn't go real good, but that's okay. Because we can come back in and fix that if we want. Or we could just re-ink our pad and make it easier next time. So I'm going to take a permanent pen. This is my platinum with carbon black ink in it, and it's permanent. So now I'm just going to, I got a smudge there, so I'll have to do something about that. I'm going to turn it into a journaling card. just going to draw the line just so it's consistent. And yes, you can get a ruler out, but I like the crooked lines. And I always do more than one because that way when they're crooked and there's more than one, it looks like it was supposed to be that way. So I did that. And of course I have to do my stitching lines. And then I'm just going to draw my journal lines in here. You don't have to, and you don't have to go all the way across. You can do part of the way. Just, you know, if you're writing and you're writing all your interesting things in there, you could draw a little image there, something like that. So it can go anyway. Then I liked, because this one fit this card real well, I'm just going to do this. Actually, I'll cut right here and right here, and then I'm going to switch to my curvy scissors. And after if you decide you're going to color on it or paint it or do whatever, then you can come in and darken your lines a little bit. That they didn't ink the best, but you know, it's handmade, so it's good. And I think, you know, doing the cutting out isn't necessary. It's a pretty darn cute card all by itself. But this is just something different. And I honestly, you know, maybe y'all have seen this before, but I haven't. And I thought it was just such a fun idea. So with very little work and effort, got a little doodling, I got a little stamping, a little cutting, and I have a journal card. Just like that. So, out of curiosity, I'm seeing a shadow. I'm trying to figure out where that's coming from. Is my lighting any better or any worse? I went and got a new light fixture from the advice of my friend, and I got LED lights instead of a fluorescent light. I don't know if it's any better, but my eyes are happier. So I'm going to try this one just because this one's a little bit different. Let's try the other ink pad and see if it's any darker. This one was purple, but when it dried up, I just made it black because I used so much black. So I am going to ink that up. I'm going to wipe that on my arm because I don't want to make any smudges. So I am going to stamp that. Hi, sis. I'm not much on using blocks because most of the time I use my unmounted to be textures. And of course I'm crooked. And that's okay because it's handmade, right? I'm okay with that. So I'm going to, let's do this one with a ruler just so, yeah, I can't figure out for sure where that, unless this is my shadow. Yep. It's my camera that's making a shadow. Maybe we'll try it, giving it a different angle. Maybe a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to use a ruler just because we can. We don't have to do it freehand. I forget how much this pen doesn't like running up against the metal edge. And honestly, I kind of like it like this one here with it being kind of crooked. I kind of like that. I don't know. Crooked is good. If it wasn't, I would be in trouble. Yeah, I even got that line crooked. See, I could draw straighter lines with, or at least lines that make me happier without a ruler, but I wanted you to see you could. And if I had a clear ruler and could see exactly where I was putting them, that would probably be different. So this one, I think I'm going to do something different. If I can find it without too much of a hassle. Okay, so I have 3 rows on here, so we're going to pull this one off. We're going to use a different stamp. And if you want to get a little pickier, I mean, I'm never picky, so we'll see. I'm going to put a Post-it note right here, and we're going to put one right here. Not that there's much edge on this side left to go on, but that's okay. And I'm going to ink this up. And I'm going to stamp some stitched lines. This just lets me use my stamps that I have and forget they're here. I don't forget they're here. I just forget to use them. Sometimes I think it's just because I don't care. You know, it's easier to grab a pencil or a pen and do it yourself. Yes, I'm never picky. So Arlene questions me and my sister laughs at me. Well, I'll be darned. Nobody believes me. So I'm going to trim this one down just a little bit because it's not even. No, I'm not being picky. I'm just being balanced. That's it. That's my story. And when I cut these out, I like to leave just a little bit of the white, which is really weird. That's not how I ever fussy cut anything. But I just think it's kind of cool. It just adds to the personality of the card. So there we go. We have another journaling card. So, I mean, it just takes no effort. It's so much fun. And it's like, well, what's the next stamp I can use? So with that being said, let's just see what's over here. I pulled these out. I thought this octopus might be kind of fun on a card. Oh, here's my little robot. I did him too on a business back of a business card. I don't know if I showed that. So here's a ticket. So let's try this ticket just because. Now I'm sticking with the black ink, but of course you could use, hi, Miss Kathy. You could use any kind of ink you want because, or color. I just like black outlines and I like to color things in down the road away. So I got to make sure I put this one in correct order. And I think this is right. So I'm going to stamp it off here. Yes. So I'm going to use the index card. And I am going to try to stamp this straight. Yeah. You'd think I'd be able to do that. And yes, I have a stamping platform right here. I really don't care much for it. Hi, Janice. So I'm just going to stamp this down. And again, my ink is just it. But that's okay because if you watercolor on it or whatever, color it, paint it. So this one's going to be easy. We'll just continue our line down. And this one, I think I probably will just leave it. And not cut it out because it's nice and squared up. And you know, you could do it differently. You could even do your lines like this. I don't like that one that short. Because you know, we can all write whatever direction. Hi, Olga. Hi, Julie. So that one isn't nearly as cute as I thought it was going to be. Maybe if I would have put it on a bigger card so I could have made it, you know, more like the other. So let's try a different one. Okay, this one, this one, I didn't even know I had this one. It just kind of showed up this afternoon when I was looking. So we will make ourselves a shoe. Again, like I said, I don't even know where this came from. And this isn't wanting to stay on here at all. So this may have to be, yeah, it's not wanting to stay on at all. So we'll see if we can do this without screwing it up. Okay, I'll do the octopus. Okay, I didn't get a good impression. This would be so much better with a inkier ink pad. And they seem to be inky, but I guess I use them a little more than I think I do. So I think I'll go ahead and put a little bit of refill on this and let it absorb in while I'm doing my lines. Maybe it'll be ready. If not, there's the other one, so it's all good. So we'll take the pen, and this time we're going to have to draw a little more of the going out this way. And I'm doing this one on the watercolor. I do tend to like the bigger ones. It's easier. I just thought this was a fun way to use the stamps that we don't really use very much, and make something useful. And this could be made out of scrap paper. This could be done on colored paper. And you could even do something like this and not even draw the lines on it if you didn't want to. So let's go ahead and cut this one out because we can. So those of you that might like fussy cutting, that's a good thing for this. It gives you the fussy cutting, and it gives you the doodling, and it gives you the stamping. So I think it's a win-win for all of the things we like to do. And then voila, you have a journaling card. I know, isn't that pretty cool? Hi, Allison. Yeah, this is a fountain pen. It is Platinum is the brand name, and it's carbon black ink, so it's permanent. I absolutely love it. I have another one. I actually reached it first try. Manuscript, and this one I got in Hobby Lobby. And if I don't use this like every day, I have to dip it in water or go clean the nib. But this one, I have had this since Christmas, and I just put in the new refill. It's got a cartridge, and I don't have to dip it in water. It works. Now, sometimes it goes slow because, or it skips and stuff because I go too fast. But if I didn't go so fast with it, it would be fine. And then sometimes on painty paper, it's kind of got its own mind, but I've worked with it enough that I think I kind of have its thought process. Hi, Bonnie. So I'm not going to draw the lines on this one because maybe I want to use this one for a picture of my great niece who happens to be watching in her little dress-up shoes. So it could be a photo mat too. Wow, got all these bright ideas. It's kind of scary, huh? Okay, where did my oh, there he is. So we're going to do the octopus because he's kind of cute. So has anybody ever pulled a cling stamp off the plastic and ripped it? I had one last night that I swore it was going to rip. I really did. I thought for sure it would rip. So let's see if this is rubbed in enough. I don't think so. Come on. I'm just using the tip to to rub it in, but it's not really wanting to do that. So we'll make him kiss. See if we can pick up enough ink and get it absorbed in to both. But we're going to use this one just because that one's still pretty wet. So I think this one needs to be on watercolor. Hi, Susie. Thanks, Bonnie. I love to doodle. I think I've done it all my life. I got pictures the other day from my great niece, which actually I did some research. And she's not really my great niece. She's my grand niece. When you get into that once removed kind of stuff, which I thought was amazing. I like that, grand niece. So I'm going to put the octopus on here, trying to, I'm centering as well as I can from here, but you know what? It's okay. Oh no, Arlene. I just knew when I had such a trouble with that one last night that I'm sure somebody has had them rip. Woo! Looks good. All right, now let's put the lid on that before I do something that I'll be sorry for. So I think we're going to let him hang down on our little journaling card a bit. Now I know I don't have to draw all between there, but I just thought it looks good. Oh, I just thought of something. Let's try. Let's see. I don't even know what's all in that stamp set. Oh, there is. I just knew there would be. So we are going to take Tiny Bubbles. Isn't there a song about that? No, I'm not going to sing. Okay. We're going to put some tiny bubbles on there. I wish I would have thought of this prior to doing the stitching. I think that would have been fun, just to have tiny bubbles instead of the stitching line. No, isn't that cute? See, I knew I'd heard that song somewhere, well, or knew the title of the song. I don't know that I've heard it. And I don't have to trim these down on that side. It's just, I like the, the smaller margin, I guess. And it lets me straighten it up a little bit when I don't stamp straight. Which I have the tools to stamp straight. I just don't want to use them. Violet. I didn't see you come in. I'm glad. I was singing it in my mind. It took all my effort to not sing it out loud. So I'm just going to trim this out. And I will, because I like the look of it, go in there and trim around each of those legs. But for the time being, I'm just kind of doing an outline. Because y'all don't want to sit here and watch me cut. And if I keep cutting, I get into a spot that I don't know where I'm at. And I kind of just get mesmerized and get lost there. So there we go. And of course, I can't stand that. I got to cut that out. And like I said, all of this came from inspiration of 3 little cards that we were emailed or sent, mailed, not emailed, regular mailed. I just fell in love with them. Of course, the way she did them, I loved, and I've already ordered the stamps for how she did them. So I have them all packaged up. Otherwise, I would share them with you. So there's the octopus. I really, 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 really like that a lot. And I don't even do octopuses on anything. That's pretty cute. I have to say, of the ones I've done, these 2 and this one are my favorites. I really like these 2. These are, well, actually, they're all Delusion stamps. I have some of her faces, and I tried that, and I didn't really like them. They were just kind of big and bulky. I did think it might be kind of fun to do one of these little dogs. And let me see. This guy just hollers at me. We're going to do this one on an index card. Get rid of my tiny bubbles. And put some ink on here. This is going to be a little bit shorter journaling card, or I kind of like the idea that they could be photo mats too. Not that I do much with scrapbooking anymore, but you know. And if you feel like when you've put this on there that, you know, you don't want to put your line down here because then this doesn't do much. So come up here and put your line, because this way he's not like sitting on the edge of the world, you know, he's kind of sitting into the card a little bit. So let's go ahead and give him some lines. And if you notice my lines aren't straight, I actually kind of think I like it better that way. Maybe that's just my excuse to not have to worry about if they're straight or not. But I think with this pen, I tend to draw a straighter line than any other pen I've ever used. But even if you decided to do that and you wanted to, it's not a picture or a photograph, but you know, you could still put a picture down there even with the lines, because you could color them and make it all frou-frou and pretty. So yeah, I think this is just another way we can use our stamps and have a really good time at what we're making. And definitely like cutting the index cards better than the um, watercolor, but I like the feel. But these are a really good index card. They're heavy duty. I think I got them at Walmart, and they actually are called heavyweight. So anyway, and if anybody here hasn't subscribed to me yet, I would appreciate that. From what I can see, I think most everybody is subscribed, and I appreciate that. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. So I'm kind of excited. I should have put this on my Facebook and said, "Hey, family, come join me." Because if just my family would subscribe, I'd be well over the top. I wanted to have a little more separation there. Ta-da! And I didn't do the stitching on here, and I still like it. Yes, call it organic. That works for me. It just shows you, especially if you're going to do this and put them in pockets and make them for a gift, it helps people to see, wow, they really went to the work of doing this. And I know they're so much fun. And I have this one, but I have another one with dogs on it. I don't have it out yet. And then I have the crab. Let's do the crab. So the octopus has a friend, because I've had these stamps for I don't know how long, as you can tell. None of them were used. I about lost my tiny bubbles. So maybe I should see if that song is copyright free and make that my theme song. Tiny bubbles. Like, probably would help if I had a different color. I could see where the edge is. I love it when I stamp clear and it looks good. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, Violet. I appreciate it, guys. I really do. So we're going to put him on his little journal card. And I know this is nothing fancy, but I don't know. I was just enamored with it. And I thought, well, if I haven't seen that, maybe other people haven't thought of it either. So there's those of us who maybe have thought about it and done it and not shared it. So let's get ahead and give him some journal lines. I just decided when I was skipping spaces for his little crabby legs that maybe dotted lines would be fun, like a stitched line. And this is stitching just like my old sewing machine did, different size stitches. Have I said lately how much I love this pen? It's kind of nice when you have a pen that works all the time. Yeah, exactly. And you know, if you I have some over there that I take notes on and stuff in my other pile that you can't see, thank goodness. And but they're all colored. And I just really don't want to do the color. I want the black and white because for one, I like it, but I think it would be really cute colored in, or just a light watercolor, you know, just a tiny wash on it. I don't know. It's just how I see it. So I'm going to trim this down. Got a little close to his claw there, so we're going to and I love these scissors. I haven't found them for a long time, so I don't even know if they're still available. But I have to say that I've had them for a long time too. Actually, I can guarantee that they're over 15 years old, probably 20 years old. I base everything in my timeline on where I lived when. Now, you could easily get in there and fussy cut more if you wanted to. I'm going to probably leave that. I think that's okay. This one here, I'm really, really fighting the urge. And I think just because I am, let's just do it real quick. I'm going to hopefully not screw it up because it's been a long, long time since I've done a lot of detail work with an X-Acto knife, but I used to cut everything out with an X-Acto knife. So I just think that this little spot right here needed to be cut out. Because technically it's not part of it. See? And that just give you a whole new look on that. I mean, yeah, it's just one tiny little part. There's one more tiny one up there in the curly Q. Because it's round, we'll see how good I can do. Well, I was going to come on earlier, but Hubs was putting in the new light above me. So there we go. So see, I just kind of thought that needed to be cut out. I don't know why. You can't hardly see the other spot, but if you put it on something really dark, you can see it. Barely. I don't know. I just think I think they're fun. Do I use journaling cards? Not really. Do I put them in pockets? Yes. But I don't journal in them. I've kind of gotten to where I like my journals having space for doing things on, not a lot of frou-frou stuff. But something like this fits in with just plain. So you got your journal and you've got it full and you got one pocket. Fill it up with a bunch of fun little, because see here, look, we have our seaweed. Good night, Arlene. I'm glad you joined. So we have our seaweed. Not that it's really seaweed. We're pretending. And we have this seaweed over here. So these are tucked in pocket. And then we put the crab in here. And then we put the octopus in there. And they're all stuck in this pocket. So we have this whole seascape right there. And it's just journaling cards. So I really like the doggy. I love the mushrooms. I guess I could do the mushrooms. Or maybe let's do... No. I wanted to show you something with the mushrooms. If I've got them, I do have them here. So on the mushrooms, because they have the really long stems and I didn't want that. Let's see if I can do this and not mess this up. So where's my block? Okay, I'm going to ink this up. And I'm going to take a Post-it note and I'm going to just kind of guess right now. I got to pull this one off. I can't see it. Perfect. Just put the Post-it note down there. And now I'll stamp it. So just because there's part of a stamp you want to use and you don't want to use the whole thing, it's really easy to just, you know, put a mask on it. If you're using the stamp press, then I'm thinking you can do it better and easier. But actually, when I tried that yesterday, I was like, this is a lot of extra work. So again, I could put the lines in. I could stamp the lines in. I think we'll stamp the lines in this time. And we're going to go ahead and mask it. Not that we have to, I just kind of don't want it in the edges. I like the look I'm going for here. And I'm going to grab a different stamp for lines because I think there's one in there. Oh, and I just seen this in there. Wouldn't that be cool to put this on there and do a border of any of your border stamps? The possibilities are endless. Kind of crazy. Here we go. I knew this was set up somewhere too. These are, I don't want all of those. I just want these two. And I'll tell you what, I did not know what I was grabbing when I grabbed them. But the dots on the mushrooms and the dots on the lines, it looks like it was made to go that way. Hi, Tammy. I just think this is an amazing way to use stamps in a different way, you know? I mean, and it's not really different. You're stamping with them. That's what they're there for. But it's just a different way to, not how to use them, but a different way that we can use them and make something a little bit different than just stamping an image. Well, I really like that one. And I'm sorry, but I got to cut this one out. So I hope I'm not too slow at my cutting. This one's on the watercolor paper, so it's a little stiffer. I'm glad you like this, Janice. I think you'll have fun. You're welcome, Olga. And I probably, when I'm all done with them, I will probably go in with my scissors and make sure my cut lines are exactly where I want them, because you know I'm not picky. Thanks, Sherry. So there we go. We have another journaling card. So every stamp has a potential. I have used stamps that I've had to mask off. I've used stamps that I haven't used for a long time. I think I'm really pleased with everything so far. Um, let's do this one just because. Let's get one more done before I have to go in and think about supper. Well, wait, I'm not cooking, am I? Okay. Now I have to put it back on here so that I can get the right direction. Okay. I'm holding this on the spot that's the top so I don't forget. Oh, I got the top with the same as the mushrooms. That's good. Now this one's going to be easy, but I think we'll get that, you know, steampunk look thing. I just had another idea. So what if I stamp this, especially this one, because it's the clock, and embossed it in a metallic color, and then drew my lines on. That would be really cool too. Now on this one, I'm actually going to come up here a little bit, just so it doesn't look like it's floating in the middle of nowhere. And you know, you can always add a little stamp somewhere in this that, like, oh, here's what the line's going to be. I'm getting silly now. Let's make sure that's all the way on there. Haven't used these stamps. So just in wanting to share this and having so much fun in it, I have used stamps that I haven't used before, which is really nice because I did get a really good selection at the marketplace, or Facebook Marketplace, on some of these, but some of these I've had were kind of expensive. So I'm gonna go ahead and mask this because I don't want my birds hanging off the page. I am getting inky fingers deluxe. And I think one more. And we're going to make that kind of go with our framework at the bottom. Now, of course, I would have liked that top row to be inked a little better. I can probably take a pen and fill when I'm ready for that. So let's trim this one up a little bit and see what we think. So there we have sure using one of these to make a card, or just using the stamps to make a card. So I really like this, but it really needs my stitching lines. It's just a little bit flat looking. On here with the birds, it looks like barbed wire. Let's go ahead and give them their line, and I'm going to kind of thicken it like the other one. And then I can come in with a fine point felt tip to color in my birds. So there you go. And you can still journal in it. It can just be a card. And, you know, if you think it needs a little more, and, you know, you can ink the edges, you can get you a texture stamp. And this one I think is too stark because of the stamps I used. So I'm going to just stamp this off. Now I like it better. I think it was close to not grunging enough, if that makes any sense. So let's ink the edges. And just because, I'm just going to toss this in here real quick on this other little thing that you can do. Not a necessary thing, but so I'm going to take this. Hopefully there's enough ink on there. Nope. So I'm going to put a little ink on there. I'm not worried about the image. Now I'm going to take my mask. And as you can see, I use my masks when I do mask often. And over and over and over until they don't work. Not that sticky notes are expensive, but hey, you might as well use them without. Use them up. Get all their use out of them. So I'm just going to ink that way. So it's inked under the image. And then just blend it in. Give it that real grungy look. Because I just think it needs it. I don't know why. Get some of the ink off of what? This? Yeah, I like that. Time flies. I just think this is really cute. You're right. This would be a great note. Just a little note card to, you know. Wouldn't it be cool that, okay, so I hate it when my mind works like this, but it does, and I can't help it. So what if you took this huge stack that you just used up the all your scraps and made these cards, and then you wrote, hello, have a great day, and went around and stuck them in windshield wipers when you were out and parked? Would that not be cool? That could be random. How did I get the ink off of the stamp? It just dried. I'm not very good at cleaning my stamps. I will come over here and repress them out a little bit. If you ever see all my stamps in use, I mean, this is what they look like. I know that I should clean them. And at this point, I've never thrown one away because it was bad, ever. So just if you're going to clean them and it's a permanent ink, you're probably going to need a good strong baby wipe. This kind of shows you this has probably never been cleaned. There's still some ink on it because I didn't use it all over the place, but I have found for myself when I did clean them that my best bet for cleaning stamps was to take 2 stamps with some dish soap and rub them together. And I seem to get them cleaner than any kind of scrub brush I ever had. So, oh, I used something all over it. I used this. I stamped this to get the texture all over it. And then I used this to ink the edges and then masked around here so that the clock wasn't inked. And I could have done it either direction. I could have used what I cut away and mask and did it inside. So either way works. So that's the majority of the stamps I pulled out that I wanted to see. I didn't try a bird. I did do the dog. Oh, I did want to try this. So let's do one more and then I think we'll probably call it a day. So come over here and we're gonna use Mr. Krabby here. As you can tell, I don't even put him back for a while either. So this one is just a half moon. And I'm just going to stamp that right there. I'm leaving it on for a while because I've never used it, so it sometimes doesn't get a really good impression the first time you use it. It's not too bad. I can't complain. I can, but who's going to listen? So this one, I'm going to just draw my line all the way across here. Of course, I'm doing my double lines. Now, you don't have to do a square or rectangles. It's just, to me, it's just easier for me to do that. I think I'm going to do one of my lines this way. Instead of doing some stitching, let's just kick it up a notch here. So let's go ahead and put some lines across here. I'm intentionally making these crooked so they go with the crooked lines on the side. And if you felt like you still needed a little bit of decoration or something to that extent, third time's a charm. 3 stamps here, and I choose this one finally. Let's put it over here. And I'm just going to put this right down here in the corner. Just to add something to it. Trim it down. You know, I really think these are just as cute not trimmed too, but the trimming, I think, is what makes it a little more unique. So there's another fun journal card. Oh, Bonnie, never be embarrassed. Always ask me questions. And if I don't see it, send me a message. You know how to get a hold of me. I don't mind helping at all. I don't mind answering questions. I think that's part of the whole journey. Somewhere along the line, I had to figure this out. Hi, Carla. I didn't just wake up knowing how to stamp. Close. Close. Okay, not really. I did wake up learning how to doodle, though. I really think. And my mom would have said the same thing. So there's another one. So let's just kind of go over some of these journaling cards and see what you think. So that's the last one we made. And there's our steampunky and our mushroom with the little polka dots and our plain mushrooms. So these are happy mushrooms. These are plain mushrooms. You choose. We have our little puppy dog with his tongue hanging out. If you look real close, his tongue is heart-shaped. Can you see that? That's cool. So then we have Mr. Crab. Then we have the octopus, and he's plain. He didn't get lines. And then we have the seaweed. It's not really a seaweed, but you know. We have just a design. We have our fancy high heel shoe. And you know, you could easily come in and cut out that little spot right there too if you wanted to. We have our plain little card just decorated on an index card. We have our little robot. He's on the back of a business card that I had painted. We have our poison. And I think I'd like to try the poison again with a little more I don't know, spooky looking stuff. I don't know. Oh, true. That is really good. It again, I think that might be one of the things that, you know, I've just stamped long enough that I know how much pressure, but I have to tell you, I have trigger finger in both of these fingers. And so the strength isn't there. I need to pull out my mouse pad for that. Thanks for the reminder. So we got our cupcakes and just our swirlies, which, you know, we could take our tiny bubbles and add some little bubbles in the corner just because they're, whoops, it, see, it helps when your stamp stays on there and doesn't fall off. So we're going to add just a few little tiny bubbles down here in this corner. Not that we need bubbles, we just need more circles. Kind of balance that out. So see, now we got the journaling card with a little added detail. And then we have our lady that I really didn't like, but she's okay. And then we have our little monster. And I think I would like to make some more of these and totally drawing them because I love little monsters and little robots. Those are my favorite things. My oldest grandson didn't really like them. He did for just a short amount of time. So I'm hoping the next one he just turned 2 really likes monsters and robots because grandma's got lots of monsters and robot stamps. Yeah, I've been singing the tiny bubbles for a while. Okay, I got to try this last one. I know that I need to get busy with other things, but oh well. That's never stopped me before. So I want to do this raven. Is he going to fit on there? Not really. This is the worst part about cling stamps. They just pile up over here when you're using them. So we're going to do this one on a postcard. Oh, well, that works out perfect. That's the last postcard I pulled out. I don't like the glue on there, but I guess I'll just have to trim that down. So Ooh, he's kind of creepy. We're going to take this one again because I like the birds on the line. Kind of Alfred Hitchcocky. I'm going to make this my bottom line down here for my journaling card. Now we'll do the rest of it. Draw in some lines. And see, that's what I like about using more than one line. Because if I happen to go way out of whack, and then I'm the next line can straighten it up, and it looks like it's supposed to be that way. That's pretty, Janice. I like that saying. I don't know if this is a crow or a raven. It's blackbird. And our house kind of looks like a gackle. We have a lot of gackles too. I think whoever suggested great note cards, I like that idea a lot because when you send happy mail or whatever, then you've got this personalized little card that, you know, it takes you 5 minutes to stamp it out. You're going to write the note anyway, so why not spend that extra 5 minutes to show someone you really care, right? Yeah, I might say I'm a lazy crafter. I have the stamp cleaners. I have the stamp, the pad thing that you clean them on. And I used to do all that. Yeah. And I have baby wipes, but I only use baby wipes for my hands anymore. And as you can tell, I don't do that very well. So let's cut out our blackbird. So if you were doing a true nursery rhyme book, and I say true because I think nursery rhymes and a lot of fairy tales are pretty dark, you could write your the I don't know, so many blackbirds baked in a pie. You could write that on here and use this as an insert, and then you still have the back to journal on too. So I can't remember how that goes, but that's what I'm thinking as I'm cutting on this. Blackbirds baked in a pie. It's a certain number, but I don't recall what it was. I'm sure somebody else will remember. And again, your detail on how much you cut away is up to you. And if you don't want to cut away, you don't have to. So there you go. I thought it was something in 20, but I wasn't sure. So I hope that you've all seen something you liked and maybe get an idea or two. I'm glad you joined me to play. I really was going to just make this short. I guess an hour is pretty short, but I just got carried away. So in an hour, we made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one was done. 6. That one was done. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards in an hour. So it took me about 10 minutes, little under 10 minutes a card, and I was talking. So I think that I am just going to make a whole collection of these, because look at them like this, you know, the front view. They're just pretty cool, just to be stacked in a box and ready to use however you wanted to. That's pretty cool. I don't know. It doesn't take much to throw me anymore, I guess. It's just kind of nice to get a chance to play and share something that is new to me. Whether it's new to anyone else, I don't know, but it's new to me. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you all find a new way to use your stamps. So until next time, thank you for coming and have a great evening, and we will be back. Bye bye.